This is a video for how to learn to play the spider version of Solitaire. Now before we go any further, I want to ask you a question. Are you ready to learn about a very hard version of Solitaire? If you haven't played a lot of Solitaire, perhaps try another game first, because Spider in its original form is indeed hard. Now in Solitaire games, you have a stockpile, which is, the deck of cards that is left over after you deal what's called your tableau. This is the spider tableau. And commonly in Solitaire games, there's a waste pile. Spider does not have a waste pile. It has a 2-deck stockpile, a tableau with 10 piles on it. The 4 on your left are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards down, 1 card up, and then the 6 on your right are going to be 4 cards down and 1 card up. And since you are playing with 2 decks, you're trying to build up to 8 foundations, 1 for each suit, and we've got double the amounts of suit. What I mean is, there are 2 hearts, 2 sets of spades, 2 sets of clubs, 2 sets of diamonds, and therefore you have 8 foundations. Now, the way the game works is that on the tableau, we build down from king to ace, so that's descending, and one plus for this game is we're not concerned about suit when we're building down, which is very good. We're only concerned about suit when, actually, we're not even concerned so much about suit when we're building up. So that's excellent. So the way that it works is I've got a king over here, and I'm going to look for something to play on that king. There's a queen. So I'm going to move it over, and I'm going to turn the card below it over. It's an ace. One thing that's very important about this game is you cannot move anything up to a foundation pile until you have a run descending from king to ace. So even though I've got aces on 3 of my tableau piles, I cannot move them up at this time. This is a very hard game. So looking around the board, right now the best play I can make is to move this 2 over to this 3 and turn a card over. There's a 6. I'm going to move this 5 over to the 6, turn the next card in that tableau pile over. It's a 4, getting a little run going. That's cool. And then I hit a 10. Can't make any more moves over here. I can move this 3 and this 2 over. And this is a very important time to mention that where suits do apply are when you want to move a run, a sequence of cards. You can only move sequenced cards that are in the same suit. I told you this game was hard. I hope you still want to play it. So there you go. Now I've got a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I could move the 3 and the 2 because they were the same suit. Back over here, going to turn over what turns out to be a queen. Put this queen on top of this king. I hit a 4. Let's look around for other moves. Well, I can move one of my 3 aces to any 2. There's a 2. There we go. Turn this tableau card over. I hit a 6. Finally, I have no moves left on the tableau. In my opinion, it's very important to make sure that you exhaust every move you can on the tableau before you take cards from the stockpile. Because what you're going to do is, now that I have no moves, you're going to go card here, card here, card here, so forth. And every time, just about, what you're going to be adding is a card that disrupts the sequence beneath it. And that's another level of difficulty for this game. So Now you have to work with these, and you have to try to move cards around and get back to recreating your sequences. Like I said, the game is very hard. So I want to mention a couple of points. Let's say hypothetically that I was able to move all of my cards that were in this tableau pile to another space on the board and create an empty space on the tableau. Well, if I get to a point where I can make no moves and this space is open, the way the rules work for Spider, I cannot deal cards from the stockpile until I fill this space. What's cool is you can fill this space with any card. You know, in Klondike, regular Solitaire, you can only fill a space, an empty space on the tableau, with a king. In this game, you can fill it with any card or any suited sequence. And at this time, I'm going to fill it maybe not with the best card for what's available out here, but I want to show you, you can put a jack in there, or you can choose to put a queen in there, or a 7. Whatever works best based upon your experience with the game and the strategy that you develop. Now that I have this spot filled, and we assume that I have no moves left, again, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, you see how hard this game is. It gets harder and harder. But it is possible to actually build a descending sequence from king to ace. And when you do that, you will have the opportunity to reverse that sequence and put it on the foundation area, your 8 foundations, in reverse order. Now, obviously, we've described and demonstrated a game here that's very hard. So I want to take this opportunity before we end and explain to you that there are 2 rule variations that make this game much easier to play. One is called Spider 2 suits. The other is called Spider 1 suit. Basically, in Spider 2 suits, you're going to need 4 decks of cards. And what you're going to do is that instead of having 4 suits from 2 decks of cards, you're going to have 2 suits, 4 decks of cards. Take your 4 decks of cards and separate all of the spades and the hearts, casting all of the clubs and the diamonds aside, and you can play this game with 2 suits, which takes it from high difficulty to like medium difficulty. And the reason is you can only move sequences from one pile to another if the whole sequence is suited. And that's why if you want to play a really easy version of Spider, you play 1 suit Spider, so you don't ever have to think about that suited sequence rule. And I can tell you, the only game of Spider I've personally ever completed and won is single suit Spider. So there you go. Hope you have a good time, and I hope you pick the version of Spider that suits you.